What years were each of you president of Jewish Family Service?
I am told from 1976 until 1979, 3-year period.
I was president in 1986 to 1987, approximately 35 years ago.
You are the only couple where each member has served as president of Jewish Family Service. Why did each of you decide, and obviously not following each other, but over a span of years, why did each of you decide to accept the presidency?
I don't think I knew any better. I was 29 years old. I was at Robert Hertz's house for an event, and I got sort of cornered at that point. I think I was seen because I was a social work counselor type, and that was my background, and young enough to not really know what was coming forth when I was involved. It was a
Committee of the Federation.
committee of the Jewish Federation of Allentown at that point. So there were a lot of changes
that have been made. Alan, what were some of the challenges you faced in really almost right a decade after Roberta?
Yeah, well, at that point, Jewish Family Service was a separate legal entity, and one of the challenges then and probably still now is financial. The ability to fund all of the programs that you want to do, and you had a fundraise where, when it was just a committee of the Federation funded it, and whatever the funding was, that's what the agency was. So finances were always an issue. The second issue was physical facility. We were on the second floor of the JCC in the Kessler room, which was just one room, and a year or two later, the broom closet across the hallway was made available to family service, and that's where actually some of the counseling was done. And it was known and that to really have a very serious counseling component, you have to provide for confidentiality, and that was not a good location to have to come into the JCC and go up to the second floor.
to a broom closet.
Everybody saw, what was going on. So, one of the goals always was to get a separate physical facility that would provide this element of confidentiality. And eventually it did happen. We did initially move to a location on Hamilton Street, I think it was called the SOMAC building, for maybe a couple of years.
I don't even remember that.
And
I
then,
do.
and then eventually the property on Allen Street became available. It was a ophthalmology practice, and the owners of that sold us the property for a very, very beneficial price, and we got financing. A great deal of the amount necessary to do it was from the going blank on the name. It was that Baltimore Jewish
Weinberg
was from the Weinberg Foundation. And if you go to the Jewish Family Service today, the front entrance, there's a big plaque on it acknowledging the contribution of the Weinberg Foundation. I really felt that Jewish Family Service was a very, very important organization. In addition to Roberta and I being presidents, both Roberta's parents were on the board. I actually legally organized the organization in the early 1980s and had a very, very deep feeling. So it was important for me to add some element of continuity. And that's why I basically agreed to do it.
We thought when we both retired very recently, what do we want to do? And JFS was clearly number one. To see it today, there's no similarity, I mean, it's wonderful. I look at JFS today as just an independent, productive, for the whole community, doing beautifully very proud of the agency.
When you go there and you see the building, you see the plaques, you go in and you see the operations and the number of people working there, and you see all of the food pantry and all of everything else that's going on in there. I mean, it's way beyond anything that I would have been familiar with back in 1986 and 1987.